Hello, hi, and howdy there.
Oh, hold on.
God.
Listen,
Okay.
I was not ready.
You're not ready for the howdy?
No, but like I
Howdy.
was ready because you asked me if I was ready, and I said yes, and
Yep.
then
And then you were like, wait a minute, now I guess I'm not ready.
back it up, back it up. Hold
You
on.
look good. Watch your back. That
Oh
thing
my
up.
God. Welcome, everyone, to the Poison Tea Party podcast. It's so great to be back at the table with all of you.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And boy, oh boy, do we have a very special show for you tonight.
I'm scared.
I don't know if you should be scared. Yeah, you should be.
I've drank too much already. Let's be honest.
My name's Janet, and I'll be your host tonight. Joining me are the two lovely ladies who need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, thanks for that, Janet. I need an introduction.
To my left, my right-hand man, my sister from the same mister, a gal who's
Absolutely.
far too legit to quit. That's right.
That's me.
It's Trass.
Fucking
Yeah,
ow.
too legit.
Too legit to quit.
Hey, hey.
Too legit.
Too legit. Oh my God. And to my right, my left-hand man, my very own bundle of sunshine, who still to this day plays a mean air guitar as she listens to November Rain at an unacceptable volume.
For real.
You guessed it. It's Kawi.
Kawi.
But it's hard to hold a candle
Oh, God.
in the cold November rain.
It's at times like these I wish we did video.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they could see her
guitar,
face.
her fucking rock and roll lip when
Yeah.
she does it. It's
It just
crazy.
does it. It just switches on its
Oh,
own.
it just does it. You just can't control it.
I
Huh?
can't.
It's just so natural.
We're all here coming at you from the ball pit of an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese somewhere in Middle America. Let's start this fucking show.
God.
What?
Oh my God.
Do you want to be in the ball pit of an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I don't.
do. I do right now. And that's where we are.
Oh my God.
So that's happening.
that sounds creepy as
low
fuck.
key, if you look around though, it's like, when is the animatronic gonna come out? Like, that's all
that
I'm
was
thinking.
a really loud laugh that I just did. But yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Like, look at that over there.
So-
Especially
Janet
the
decked
tinsel.
Janet decked out our fucking space.
I did.
Man.
I decked it out. It's fucking dope down here.
Dopest
It
dope I
is.
ever
I've
smoked.
smoked.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, first off, it's time to announce the winner of Trassie's birthday giveaway. Some lucky person is going to win the dopest hoodie I've ever seen right now.
Oh God.
Trass,
I'm too drunk for this.
who's it going to be?
Who is it?
Okay.
No.
So the winner of this glorious fucking hoodie that I made personally.
That I
Me,
want
myself.
really bad. And if they don't, then I will take that.
Janet's not going to get it.
And I'm going to cut the neck.
She's not going to get it. So the winner is my friend, Cassie. I'm not going to say her last name, but Cassie. Cassie, you're the fucking winner. I know you were nervous about writing in, but you know what? Your shit was hilarious, and I don't even care. Maybe it's our sense of humor because
We
like
had a lot of good ones, though.
we did. We had quite a few very hilarious ones, and we
Yeah.
will do an honorable mention here in a moment.
Yeah.
But this one just hit me in my fucking gut as soon as I read it. We were laughing hysterically. So we're gonna read her entry here. I'm gonna like paraphrase it a little. So this entry is about her brother. Okay, and his name was Jebediah. Okay.
Okay.
And he was
Oh, God.
he was a little guy, and he had two older sisters. So when they would
And
go,
we know all about
we
that.
definitely do
Because we have that exact
we have a baby brother.
thing happening in our family, yeah. So you
And
abused the fuck out of him.
He also had like school wrestling competitions.
Which our brother did
which
too.
our brother did too. So that also hit us in the balls.
Yep, right in the balls.
So his name was Jebediah, as I had said. And so during these wrestling competitions, Cassie and her fucking sister, absolute fucking savage, right?
Yeah.
They would yell out Jebediarrhea.
Oh my god.
Oh, so
Dude.
fucked up.
Bro. I don't even care who the
Oh,
fuck you
man.
are. That's the funniest shit I've
You know
ever heard.
what that does to a teenage boy,
He
young
was-
boy?
To a
Child. Do you know what that does to a child, Cassie?
That's abuse.
He was embarrassed.
That's abuse.
Faux show. So
No,
she,
I support that.
She
That's
says that they
brilliant.
still
It is.
use this to this day.
Absolutely.
If he's acting like fucking like a fool or
Oh
something.
my
As
god!
they should.
Now everyone out there in podcast land, if you know a Jebediah, and you haven't
Jebediarrhea.
thought of that yet, here's your chance.
Jebediarrhea. That shit's funny. I don't fucking care who you are. Listen, if you can't take a joke,
And
it
you
ain't
know
it.
what? Shout out to Cassie's brother, because
Absolutely.
you've taken a lot of abuse over the years.
You're a strong man.
You are a strong man.
And I know you got 2 big sisters, then you definitely got balls of steel.
That's
bro.
right. No, that's cool. That's the winner. So congratulations, Cassie.
Woo, Cassie.
I'm hoping that you'll send us a couple pictures of you wearing that incredible merch, and I'm so pumped for you and quite a bit jealous, actually, because I
Yeah,
really
'cause
wanted
she
that fucking
really
hoodie.
wanted
I kept
it.
being like, oh, if you don't want to give it away,
She definitely wanted that shit.
So you do want to honorably mention.
Yes, I have another honorable mention here, and this is Trish, and Trish is one of our Patreon members, and we love Trish. You've heard us talk about her before.
She's our biggest fan.
She is
Or
our
one
biggest
of the biggest
fucking fans.
We do have a
Trish.
couple.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So we can't I can't confirm
We can't
nor
label,
deny
but,
that you are
I mean,
our biggest
If we weren't
fan.
going to label, but
However, so Trish had this fucking name. Okay, I'm gonna read it because this shit made me laugh too.
it did.
I peed my
Wait,
pants.
I'm going to pee my pants. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, her nickname is P Dawn. P Dawn. So short for because let me get into it a second. Janet already knows the story, so she's dying. Okay. So her nickname or her short for Patricia Dawn, right? So it's P Dawn. She said my sister started calling me that when I was 13. A friend heard her say it, and I became peed on. But they said it like I've been peed on.
Peed on?
Oh, shit.
Oh
Why
my!
are siblings so fucking
They're
savage,
brutal.
dude?
For real.
That's how you got yours.
That's exactly how I got
oh
mine.
my god, it's crazy.
Yep. So she says that when she got divorced, her ex-husband's girlfriend later went on to make T-shirts with a little guy that pees on a Chevy or a Dodge. She's like, you know what I'm talking about? And then they wrote, it said, piss on, peed on,
Oh, my God.
which is hilarious.
Wow.
I'm real sorry, Trish.
What did you do, Trish?
Trish, you need to
Yeah.
write us and tell us about,
I wanna
did you
know.
do some savage ass shit?
She
'Cause
did.
it's
No, you
fine.
don't got to write us. We should hang out.
Oh, yeah, we should.
gotta
We
hang out
should,
and drink
we
about
should
it.
drink about it.
We need to hear what
For
happened
real.
here.
For real.
For real.
I need to know.
Oh my
But
god.
also, great fucking nickname.
That's
Yeah.
so great.
I love it.
I love
Icon.
that. So something you didn't know, everyone listening out there, our pod room tonight, which I know I said we're at the ball pit of Chuck E. Cheese, just imagine for a minute that we're not, is decorated for a very, very fucking special occasion.
Yeah, yo.
The balloon in front of me says happy fucking whatever.
And it's iconic.
That balloon over there says yes, bitch.
And that one says you're old as shit.
Yep.
So that would leave us to believe that it might be somebody's birthday.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
It might be a couple bitches' birthdays up in this. So
Up in
tonight,
here.
we're going to be celebrating a couple birthdays because it is.
Ow.
And the cool thing about it is this is Trass and Kailie's first pod birthday.
Yes.
Because last year we started in June, and then I got to do. I don't.
Yes.
I even remember if I did like. I
I don't think we did like a
No.
big thing because we weren't like
We weren't quite.
into
Didn't
it
know
yet.
what we were doing yet, but
Yeah.
I still had a birthday while we were doing the pod.
Yeah.
But you guys haven't had one yet.
No. And we're both in March. So
Yes, you are both in March.
To March.
And we're also the kind of people who celebrate our birthdays all month
Yep.
Yep.
or however long we want to. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to make it like a really big deal.
Yes.
So the room's decorated and we have some special poisons that we're drinking tonight.
Yep.
And there's cake.
Oh.
Fire.
And
Can
it
we
says-
talk about the cake?
It says happy birthday cunts.
Cunts.
And it's
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
It's got Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
and they're all hugging each other and it says happy birthday cunts.
I love it.
I'll post pictures.
Oh
so
my
you
god,
know-
it's the best.
So you
iconic.
can
I
see
look
that.
really old in it though. Don't
No, you
judge
don't.
me.
You're
don't.
beautiful. You're so.
I'm so old.
You
It's
are
fine.
not so old.
I'm okay with it. My kids need to hurry up and grow up and get the fuck out.
And then you'll be beautiful again. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You are beautiful now.
Oh god.
But also, no party would be complete
Oh no.
without presents.
I'm concerned.
Okay.
Would it?
No, it wouldn't, but I'm
No.
also concerned at the
No,
same
this
time.
is going to be fun.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you eat a possum candy cane.
I was going to say, do I have to eat a possum
Thank
candy
God.
cane?
or do anything embarrassing, probably.
I mean, I'm okay with embarrassing.
I'd rather
Embarrassing.
do embarrassing than eat possum. Again.
Me
because-
too.
This is a special poison tea party, and that means everybody gets a present.
That means everybody gets along here.
So pick a present, but don't open it yet.
Okay, I want this one right here that's right in front of me.
I want this one. Okay. Are we ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Open your present. a fucking wig? No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And there's sunglasses. All right, we gotta pause for a second because I gotta put this shit on.
You got so much party in the back, there ain't none in the front.
Girl. Kaylee, shut the fuck up.
I've got too much hair for this wig.
Oh my god.
Is it more hair than any of you bitches?
I look like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, see, you look like me.
Mom, you raggedy.
Okay, hi, we're back again.
Oh, whoops.
After we already just laughed our fucking asses off. So
Bro, I died.
we opened presents, and you guys obviously didn't get to see, but what we all got like a colorful wigs
It's like a mullet wig.
We were blessed with mullet wigs.
and heart-shaped glasses to go with them.
The glasses are adorbs.
Mine is like a light purple.
Mine is orange, and I look like fucking Ronald McDonald.
Mine's green, and we love it.
It took forever. I had to have Kaylee put mine on me
Yep.
because I put it on. Listen, I put it on thrice.
Thrice.
You did put it on
She did.
thrice.
She did.
it
And
didn't
everybody
work
kept
out.
telling me I looked like I was from Back to the Future.
Yes.
She
Because
looked like
all of the
fucking-
wig was in
The
the
pro-
back of the head.
the professor.
It was not cute.
It was fucking awesome.
So I made Kaylee can put it on. Now it looks like I have micro bangs.
So, wow, what do you know, you guys? We all got the same thing.
Wow.
Super colorful wigs and sunglasses, and we look wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking
yeah.
wild. We'll
Yeah.
post pics.
Kaylee
probably.
looks great.
I want to
Kaylee's
go
looks-
out and like
You look like
literally-
you're gonna go to Studio 54 and just tear up the dance floor,
Yeah.
disco style or something.
She's ready.
like I just want to go out there and start a musical.
You look, yeah,
No,
perfect.
she's like St. Patty's Day. Like
yeah.
she needs to do like a river
Damn.
dance.
Yep,
Oh my god.
that's happening
Irish
later.
dance later.
So there is a method to this madness tonight.
Is there?
Oh,
There
here we
is.
go.
Since forever, people have been telling me that Trass and Kailie look so much alike.
They do.
I hear it all the time.
I
like,
promise she didn't come from my vagina.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how
promise.
much you guys look
It's
alike.
okay. Mine looks
one
like you.
picture,
Every picture you
Every
guys take
picture.
together.
I know, but the one picture I posted for Aunt Tracy's B-Day.
Yeah, I was just gonna
That's
say
the one
that one.
that's,
You guys
like,
look a lot
so
alike.
crazy.
Yeah,
Every time I post that, I'm like, twins.
Twinning.
it's crazy. And they always are like, "Oh my god, I thought that was Trass," or "Is that Kailie or Trass?" I'm like, "Okay, guys, it's definitely crazy having a daughter who looks so much like your fucking sister." You guys even share a birthday month.
We
Yep.
do.
It's
We do.
almost like you're twins.
I'm not sorry.
We're
Yeah,
twin
me either.
flames.
Yeah, exactly. I'll allow it.
I'll allow
And looking around this
Yes.
table tonight, as we're all dressed up in our crazy birthday wigs and glasses, drinking our poisons, I can't help but feel like we're all sort of twin-like.
We are.
We are.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Let's
one
be realistic.
of us.
One of us. Oh. So I thought tonight at this party for almost twins would be
Yeah.
the perfect time to overindulge, if you will, on some tales of real-life twins.
Uh-oh.
But these won't be just any stories. Oh no, you won't believe what the vaults of history have stored away on this subject.
Oh, I think I would.
Yeah.
Pull up a comfy chair and grab your Annie's teacup. Pour your favorite poison because this is going to get twinsted or twisted.
Bitch, if you
Oh,
ever
shit.
again in your life twinsted me,
I wanted to make sure that you could hear the N.
I will fuck you up.
Listen, it was a good
Janet,
one.
you
That was a
look
good
like
one.
you look like somebody I know.
I'm like your sister. I look crazy.
No,
I
Like
look
grandma.
absolutely fucking crazy. Like my mother.
no. Like somebody I know, but I just don't know. You know what I mean?
No.
You look like
Are you
somebody.
making fun of me right now? You look like somebody I know.
No, I know, because I got micro bangs.
You know what? You look like someone I know.
now you're just
You know what I
somebody that I used to know.
Somebody.
Oh Lord.
You're supposed to keep going. Somebody.
Everyone just left Kailie.
That I used to know. Somebody.
Suck my dick,
Oh my
bitch.
fucking god, dude.
Because I have 5 of them, in case you didn't know.
She do.
Janet, shit's getting crazy.
It's
So-
getting drunk in here.
Throughout history, twins have had a huge impact on human culture. They've also been worshipped as gods and persecuted as witches.
Yep.
In Greek mythology, twin gods Apollo and Artemis, and I did not know they were twins, I guess.
I didn't either.
Governed the sun and moon. In Taoism, the immortal Hei twins symbolize harmony and joy.
I
And
love Hey, the chicken on Moana.
I didn't even know that was its fucking name until I had a sleepover with your children the other night. And Sissy was like, did you know this is the name of the fucking chicken and this is the name of the pig and this is the name? I'm like, oh,
And that's
girl.
mommy's favorite is the chicken.
I had no
Same.
idea. In Chinese culture, these twins, the Hei twins, bring good luck to weddings and celebrations and are often gifted as a superstition. The birth rate of twins in South Africa, this is an interesting fact, is about 4 times the global rate. So it makes sense that twins,
my.
isn't that nuts?
That is crazy.
Play a particularly powerful role in their cultures there. They believe twins are closely tied to the world of the supernatural and can either be great luck or horrible tragedy for you.
Yeah.
Bad luck, if you will. Conjoined twins got an especially bad rap. Since medieval times, conjoined twins have been seen to be monstrous.
Sideshows and whatnot.
Yep, they were thought to be devils or signs of witchcraft present in the village.
Which, hey, everybody needs more witchcraft in their life.
They
For
do,
real.
so just don't knock it
I'm
till you
okay
try
with it.
Eventually, switching from evil to the sideshow, or the freak show, that is, conjoined twins were a common act included in many of the early circuses that toured the world. More on that in a bit. It wasn't until fairly recently that scientists realized the scientific benefit to studying and experimenting with twins. The fact that they share genetics means one twin will always be a control subject. But humans always have to take shit to the darkest degree.
For
Yeah.
real. What's
So-
his nuts with the fucking Nazis? Are we going to talk
Yep,
about
I'm
him?
talking
God
right now.
damn it.
So during Hitler's Third Reich, an estimated 3,000 sets of twins were sent to Auschwitz and subjected to barbaric experiments at the hands of a mad doctor named Joseph Mengele. Very few survived, although there were a couple survivors, and they did interview them, and I watched one. It's insanity.
There's
It's
a few
so sad.
documentaries that if you haven't seen them, I suggest that you watch them.
Today, we still have an obsession with twins, but we are starting to open our minds to the very idea that twins are actually individuals.
Yes.
However, because of the mystery that surrounds them, it's no surprise that we've begun to weave that throughout pop culture. A creepy set of twins captivated audiences in The Shining, when their wholesome appearance and haunting voices made it seem like something wasn't quite right.
Ew, sick.
I know, ew, sick. And twins like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen or Dylan and Cole Sprouse have seen big success partly due to just being twins.
Yep.
Cole Sprouse is hot as fuck.
Yep, that's true. Twins occur when 2 babies are carried and born to a mother at the same time. And there are many different types. How many different types of twins do you think there are?
I know that there's fraternal. There's
Identical.
identical.
Yep.
Non-identical.
And then there's
Conjoined.
Conjoined. And then there's the ones that are like they're different dads all together. Like there's like a because they're born at the same time, but they're
So it's 2 eggs that are fertilized
by different
2 different
dads.
sperms. So the mother carries 2 different babies by 2 different dads.
and I don't know if there's a name. I'm sure there's a name for
I
it.
can't remember. I did come across that, but
But I would say there's at least like 5 different types of twins.
I'm going 7.
Yes, 7. There are 7 types, but there are technically a couple of them are not yet proven by science. They're just theories.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's hard to explain, and I didn't want to get that deep because I'm drinking
fair,
tonight.
But what the fuck does that mean?
It just has to do with the stages of where the embryo is fertilized by which sperm.
Okay.
And at times, like even 1 egg can be fertilized by 2 sperm.
Yes.
And it's hard to prove
Yeah.
that that's even a thing. So there are up to right now in scientific whatever they say there's up to 7 kinds of twins. But I'm gonna go over like the most common ones right here.
Yes.
So the
Damn, I'm good.
Good job.
Shut up, bitch. That was a guess.
The 2 main types of twins are identical and fraternal twins. Identical twins are the ones that you might have a hard time telling apart. They are 2 individual people who come from 1 egg and 1 sperm. That means that they have the exact same genetics. Fraternal twins, even
That's right. So if you murder somebody, you can blame it on your brother
That's
or
right,
your sister.
because it's the same DNA, bitch.
Same dinner.
Fraternal twins, even though they might look alike, will not look exactly alike. They are 2 individuals who came from the result of 2 different eggs fertilized by 2 different sperm. They have completely different genetics, just as regular siblings would have. But there are other types of twins, as we talked about, beyond these two. There are conjoined twins. This happens when one fertilized egg begins to split but never completely separates. So you'll have two individuals who are joined at the belly, the chest, the head, or other places of the body, and they often share organs, which sounds kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah.
This only happens 1 in every 50,000 births, so it's extremely, extremely rare. In some cases, the twins can be successfully separated, but not always.
Depends on how far they've separated.
Yeah, and what they share
And
in
where
their
they're
body.
at,
Yep. But conjoined twins have been known to go on and live successful lives. We have some that live right now today that people make such a big deal out of them. I know you know what they look like.
I only know the one's name is Brittany and
Abigail.
maybe.
Oh, that sounds
I
right.
think
They're
it
like
is.
conjoined, like,
And they
at the
married,
shoulder.
right?
Yes.
Yep, a guy.
And they were on TLC. They had like a little documentary show.
I think they're teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I loved their story.
good for them. So next we have a parasitic twin.
Oh, yes, I forgot about the parasitic twin.
This one's perhaps the most creepy. This sort of, I mean, if you're a parasitic twin, whatever. It's
I'm
cool.
your parasitic
It's
twin.
totally, you are. You totally
Fuck
are.
off.
You
Fuck
said
off.
it. You said it.
I am.
This is sort of similar to conjoined twins, except after birth, one twin is completely developed while the other twin is underdeveloped. The underdeveloped twin is non-functional. This may result in a person being born with like extra limbs or organs or like
Nipples.
nipples, tails, like things.
Hair, tail. Did you say that? Yeah.
What's the nurse's
Teeth.
name?
I've seen teeth be in like bedded. What is it?
What's the nurse's name on South Park?
Nurse Gollum.
Nurse Gollum.
She has a fetus on her head. She
Conjoined
does
twin
have a fetus on her
dyslexia week.
head. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She's iconic.
Next up on the list, there are twins who grow at different gestational ages. This would be, as a mother, this sounds absolutely not fun to me. This is called superfetation, meaning during an existing pregnancy, another egg was released. This is usually due to like hormones or whatever, and it's fertilized.
Still, I would fucking punch my husband in the fucking
I would be
dick.
so mad.
I would be so pissed.
I'd be like, what, now I'm starting all over, even though I was 6 months pregnant?
so now I have to give birth, and then 3 months later I have to give birth again.
Yeah, guess
What the fuck do you mean?
disturbing.
Guess what we're never doing again?
For real.
Because of you.
You might as well just become a eunuch because it ain't fucking
It's
happening.
never happening
You ruined
again.
it.
Unless you want to have the babies.
Correct.
Just kidding.
Not kidding.
The result is 2 babies growing in a mother's womb at one time at different stages of fucking development.
No.
Luckily for the mom, though, these babies are usually delivered together. They don't like to put the mom through the stress of 2 deliveries while being pregnant. So.
Well, and I'm sure that the stress of the delivery on one baby is very hard on the other, too.
Yeah, so they just take them both at the same time.
Which would make sense.
Yep. And unfortunately, in some of those cases, the other baby isn't developed enough and they don't survive. But in most, they do.
We have really great technology these days.
Yeah.
It could be better, but, you know.
But how terrifying. No thanks.
No thanks.
Last, there is an extremely rare type of twin called half-identical twins. Traditionally, 1 sperm fertilizes 1 egg, but in half-identical twins, 2 sperms successfully fertilize 1 egg. And I kind of mentioned this a little bit before, and I don't understand it. It's above my head. This is so incredibly rare that there are only 2 recorded cases of it ever happening, and I don't even know how you determine that has happened.
Right.
Like, I don't
That's not right.
I don't know how that. I don't know. There's more, but there are a couple that, like I said, that aren't proven by science yet. They're just theories.
Yeah.
So they say there's up to 7.
Okay. Well, I don't think Kaylee and I are that close.
Well, you're pretty close.
We're pretty close.
You're conjoined
with you.
We are kind of conjoined.
Conjoined.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No matter what type of twins we're talking about, though, they are considered an extremely rare occurrence, with only 3 sets born in 100 births. But what makes twins so special, aside from the obvious? Well, twins have the advantage of forming a tight bond with their sibling before birth. Ultrasounds show fetuses as early as the beginning of the 2nd trimester, that's 14 weeks, interacting with one another, each aware of the other's presence. After birth, twins tend to stay tightly connected, even finishing sentences for each other or speaking in their very own languages. In fact, close to 40% of twins develop their own language to communicate with one another, making it fairly common. This is called cryptophagia.
Oh my God.
So when you create a language And that doesn't
I
necessarily...
create a language with my sister with my eyeballs.
Yeah,
Same.
exactly.
That's literally
how
I
it
was thinking
happens.
about us this whole while I was writing this whole thing, and I'm just like, we do that.
We do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
do that.
fine.
That's so weird. Are we twins? No.
No.
No. See, we just did that.
No.
No. The similarities seem to follow them through life. In some cases, twins who were separated at birth tend to live out eerily similar lives.
I have heard that.
For example, there is one story. This is so fucking crazy. Ready?
Yep.
There's one story of a set of twin boys who were separated at 4 weeks old. They found each other again in 1979 when they were 39 years old. As they talked about their lives apart, it became apparent that despite the separation, it was as though they had been living almost mirrored lives of one another.
That would be like you and me finding
I
our
know.
twin.
It'd be so weird.
Like I didn't know about you until like right now. That
Whatever, we're the exact same almost. Well, not exactly.
No.
I feel like we just know each other that well, maybe.
Well, yeah.
But
I
we're
mean,
not the same. We're pretty
no,
different.
No, we've always been very tight, but we're not the same.
We would be like fraternal twins, right?
Yeah, because we definitely have our own personalities. We definitely are
Not the same.
Not the same.
no.
No matter how much anybody wants to tell me I look like my sister.
Which I think is weird because we don't.
we don't look anything
No,
alike. We
you
do
don't.
sound alike. Janet can
Yeah.
do a very good Tracy impersonation.
Yeah.
She can.
And you got to look mad when you play the part.
Yeah.
When it's John, you got to be like,
So you have a major
"Hi."
case of RBF.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Otherwise, your voice doesn't sound trassy.
It doesn't sound trass enough.
Tell me if you think this is bizarre. This is the case of the twin boys that were separated at birth and they found each other again.
All right.
Both boys had been named Jim by their adopted families. Okay.
Weird.
Jim used to be a popular name.
Yeah, it was a very
Yeah.
popular name.
The boys both married and divorced women named Linda.
Oh, wow.
Also a popular name, though.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
names shouldn't really have a
Well, if that's not weird enough, they both remarried women named Betty.
Okay.
also a very common name.
Yeah,
think
but
that's
so
weird?
weird.
Their first
Still weird.
sons were both named first name James, middle name Allen.
Okay. No. Weird.
My husband is John Allen, so
That's
it's not that weird.
They both enjoyed woodworking as a hobby.
Okay.
They had complete sheds, like woodworking sheds. Both were nail biters. Both suffered from stress headaches. They both, as children, this one blows my this is the one. They both, as children, owned a dog named Toy.
Yeah, that's a weird dog name.
It's a weird dog
Very
name. Have you
unique.
ever even heard of a dog named Toy?
No.
No.
So
I
for
might
them
name my next foster toy.
to both have that?
That's weird.
What the fuck?
That's weird.
So weird. They both work in law enforcement.
Okay.
They both settled in Ohio after they grew up, and that's eventually how they came to find each other. Is this like nature versus nurture, or is it something more? The coincidences are fucking incredible.
They are very
How many? What are the chances? Yeah, you might have a couple. At the beginning, the names things like the Jim, Betty, Linda. Those were all very popular names for that time.
right, but for them specifically to settle with, it's fucking weird. It's
Same
weird.
job,
It's
same
weird.
hobbies, same divorce, same wife,
Same
Same
dog.
son, same dog. Yeah, I don't
same
know.
son.
Same
It's-
city that they settle in.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
job.
That's
Did you say
weird.
that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's,
So it's
I
weird.
feel okay saying that this is weird.
That's weird.
it's weird.
That's weird. So if you just do some digging, you'll find incredibly fascinating and positively terrifying myths and lore that surround twindom, if that's a word. And none are more intriguing than the story of Edward Mondrake. Now, that might sound familiar to everybody at this table because Edward Mondrake was featured, sort of version of him was featured on one of my favorite seasons of American Horror Story, Freak Show.
Yes.
And he's the one that comes back and he has the face in the back of his head.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And he comes back and kills someone if they perform on Halloween.
Yes.
Or whatever. Okay. I looked that up because I remembered that when I was doing this. And I'm like, that guy was a conjoined twin or a parasitic twin, probably more.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if that was even a real thing. And it turns out that it is based in a real story. So here's that story.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I know. Edward was a nobleman who lived in England in the early 19th century. He was supposedly born with an entire face on the back of his head. The face was incapable of eating or speaking, but Edward claimed it would whisper terrifying things to him at night when they were alone, that he should kill people, that he should kill himself, that he should do all these terrible things. And at the time, it said that the face was a woman. That's what the lore is.
Yes.
Anyway.
Of course it is.
He begged doctors to remove it, but they refused. A surgical procedure like that was just too risky, especially for the time.
Yeah.
Edward eventually would take his own life at the age of 23. And it should all end there. But that wouldn't be much fun now, would it?
No.
After Edward's death, sometime later, a story began to emerge among freak show circus communities. Beware of Mandrake if you hear him whistling in the night. They believed that if they were to do a performance on Halloween night, Mandrake would come back from the dead, whistling to drown out the sound of the evil whispers coming from the extra face in the back of his head. When the whistling stopped, it meant that Mandrake had found his victim and had given in to the demented pleas to kill. He would claim one of the freak show performers and take them back to the freak show of the underworld.
Oh my God.
Pretty rad, huh?
I mean, it's something.
I think it's pretty rad.
I
I don't know about rad, but
I think it's rad.
I'm literally
go with rad.
rewatching
I'll allow it.
American Horror Story right now in my head.
I know, and it's the best one.
I love that
He
season.
kills Twisty the Clown in that one. He takes
does.
Twisty back to the underworld. And Twisty's not all bad. His story's
No, his
fucked
story-
up.
We've
sad.
talked about Twisty on the
Yeah.
clown episode.
Yeah, it
and
makes
we
you
like
have
Twisty.
feelings and be
Yeah.
like, oh, poor Twisty. He's fucking weird. Don't
Yeah.
Go him.
There's a reason.
And I'm sad. Anyway, there are some real life stories. Real life stories. That was real life halfway. And then it got more.
Halfway.
Then it went into the
Allegedly.
lore, which I do love, but maybe isn't all the way real.
Factual.
This motherfucker is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are some real life stories of twins that are just as twisted and disturbing. When we think of twins, we think of the unbreakable bond. Two people who will always be deeply connected. Blah, blah, blah. Sweet, whatever.
Blah, blah, blah.
So wholesome. But in the case of June and Jennifer Gibbons, do you know this one?
I know a lot about twins because I went through a whole fucking
God
phase
damn it.
where I was like obsessed about just everything about twins. I don't know why, but I know a lot about twins.
Okay, well, fine. Being born twins was both a blessing and a curse. This is the story of the Silent Twins.
Dun, dun,
Never heard this one.
Born April 11th, 1963 in Yemen to immigrant parents, the Gibbons moved to the United Kingdom in the early 60s and then to Wales in 1974. Their mother was a housewife and their father was a technician for the Royal Air Force. June and Jennifer were the third and fourth of 5 children. The identical twin sisters were completely inseparable, as most
Most. Yeah.
twins are. The
Yeah.
language they used was sort of a sped up Creole. That's what they used in their home. That, accompanied by a severe speech impediment, made it hard for others to understand them. The Gibbons children were the only black children in their community, and as a result, they were bullied mercilessly by their peers. So much so that school administrators would dismiss them early each day so they could get a head start on the way home in hopes that they would avoid bullies.
Yeah, that's so fucking sad.
This proved to be extremely traumatic for the twins.
Obviously.
At this time, the twins seemed to develop a language that was all their own. Over time, the girls, becoming extremely reserved, stopped talking altogether, only verbally communicated with each other and occasionally with their younger sister Rose, or Rosie as they called her. June and Jennifer continued to attend school but would refuse to read and write. In 1974, a nurse noted their impassive behaviors when they did not react at all to vaccinations. They used to give vaccinations in schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our parents got them.
Yep.
We didn't get those.
No.
So when the nurse gave them their vaccinations, they did not react at all, as all the other children did.
Which
And
is
there's like
weird.
Yeah, it is
pictures of them and they have like no expression.
They, did
They're
not
just
even.
like-
So he even said this nurse referred to them as being doll-like.
Yeah. That's
That
like
they just sat with no
literally
expression.
I know there's one picture where they're both in dresses and they're both just like
Yep, that's what they look. Picture The Shining, but they're
That's
black girls.
probably what they're based off of.
Yeah, so they're just very chill. After that, he was like, wow, that's weird and scary. I'm going to tell
Yeah.
a child psychologist. So he did. And the twins began seeing multiple therapists, one after another, after the other, who attempted to get the girls to communicate with them or with literally anyone else. Somewhere along the line, an idea was formed to separate the girls.
Terrible idea.
They would attend different boarding schools, and with them separate, the girls would have no choice but to interact with other people, with other peers.
Which they do that nowadays.
That's what they do.
They always
Yes.
do that.
So this plan backfired, when
Yeah.
the pair became almost completely catatonic and entirely withdrawn while apart.
Yeah.
Finally,
They became depressed.
yeah, they were so
Their only
missed each other.
person
Po
that
babies.
they like loved bonded with and had a super
understood
tight
them.
connection with was gone. Of course. How are you gonna? Yeah, no. This case just drives me nuts.
So finally, they were reunited, and the two spent several years isolating as that completely backfired. Like, that went completely the opposite way of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Fucking dickheads.
They secluded themselves from everyone.
So they isolated together in their bedroom. They played with dolls and acted out plays in the company of one another. They even occasionally read stories that they had written aloud to a recorder, and they recorded themselves reading it and taped it for their little sister Rose. So that was kind of a way that, they can
Yeah.
express some kind of love for somebody else besides each
outlet.
other. Yeah. After being gifted a couple of journals for Christmas in 1979, the girls were inspired to write. They sent away for a mail order course in creative writing, and they began writing stories, poems, novels, and both kept extensive journals. June and Jennifer would eventually publish writing, but nothing would ever come of it. The stories were strange and often exhibited violent themes.
Yes.
I got a couple examples for you.
Oh, God, let's hear them.
I'm not making fun. I totally support creative writing, but these
Same.
are a little, but they were young, so I guess can't really say much. In June's novel, The Pepsi Cola Addict, that's the title of it.
Oh,
The Pepsi Cola Addict.
I'm here for it.
A high schooler is seduced by a teacher, then sent away to a reformatory where a homosexual guard tries to take advantage of him. To me, that screams somebody's fucking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That screams like you're being molested.
Yeah.
That's
To me.
literally what happened to her.
It's
Like,
terrifying.
she literally was at school, then she got sent away,
Yeah, it's just
just
nuts.
like in the story.
It's weird. And in Jennifer's story, she named hers Discomania. A young woman discovers the atmosphere of a local disco and incites patrons to insane violence.
Inciting violence. I'm here for it.
But she's a child at the time.
Oh,
I don't think that's...
Maybe
I
she
mean,
read
I
her
don't know.
sister's story.
It's probably not
And they fed
normal.
off each other,
it's
no
probably
doubt.
not normal, but I also support it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like creative writing, and you
Same.
should be allowed to do, as long as you're not hurting nobody, right? But they did try to publish these, so I don't know. In their late teenage years, the Silent Twins' behavior took a nosedive. They began using drugs and alcohol and began committing crimes, indulging in vandalism, petty theft, arson,
Oh, well, come on, girls.
They were like-
Get it together.
just wilding out, like getting crazy.
together.
And while they were best friends and extremely close, they also started to display highly aggressive behaviors toward each other. At one point, Jennifer tried to strangle June with a radio cord,
Oh, my.
and June responded by throwing Jennifer from a fucking bridge.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
That's really what-
That gets the point across.
That escalated quickly.
It did. This escalation worried their parents immensely, as it would anyway.
I mean, I would hope that it would.
Mommy's really worried about that, honey.
We're going to have to do something now. And they agreed to have the girls committed to a high-security mental health hospital called Broadmoor Hospital.
That's, yep, here we go.
That sounds familiar.
I know. They were sentenced...
Lay it on me. I know a thing or two about hospitals.
Me too.
In the mental capacity.
Yeah.
They were sentenced to indefinite detention under the Mental Health Act of 1983. Now, hold on. Don't you think that sounds excessive? Like, they were sentenced to indefinite detention?
Yeah, but that's how most people.
These girls
were
are like
sentenced.
19 when this happened.
They're women.
Yeah, but
they're
And they didn't
black.
kill anybody, and they didn't I mean, they weren't nice to each other, but
Again, they're women. They're
All
black.
They
you
just need
had
some
to
help.
do. Listen. All you had to do back in the day to be admitted to an asylum was to have epilepsy.
that's true.
So
That's true.
And
if you look at it that way.
especially, like,
I mean, they used
We
to have
are
they used to have
not-
very unsavory names for
Yeah.
some of these folks.
and people, people always want to say, oh, this and that and this and that. we're not as progressive as people
Yeah, we
think
haven't really
we
come
are.
so far.
People think this wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah.
That this shit was going on. 1983, yeah, they would definitely throw your ass in something
Your
like
mama
that.
was your grandma was pregnant with your mom in 1983.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even that long ago.
Cut that out. I'm not that old.
You're not even
This
old,
isn't about me.
though.
This
Like,
isn't about me.
that's not old at all. That's what I mean. It's like, we're not that progressive. We're not, like, people.
Yeah.
I don't think people can
It wasn't that long
grasp-
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can grasp the idea that, like, no, this was still happening then.
They would remain at Broadmoor for 11 more years. During their stay, the girls were housed in different wings of the hospital. Orderlies noted that the girls would sit and sleep in the same positions when apart. They would both perform the same hobbies in the same way, even though they were in different rooms at different ends of the hospital at different times.
I don't think that's strange for me personally.
No, because it's like mannerisms, and that can be an inherited thing, I believe, and especially when you're twins, right? So you're mirroring
more
each
so,
other.
And especially for them,
But
whom
these girls
were
also-
very close.
Yeah, and they also spent quite a bit of time together too.
Yeah.
So
So it makes a
it's
lot
not
of
like
sense.
they were completely separate their whole lives, you know.
No.
Right. So they had disturbing rituals. They played almost like games. They would decide which twin would wake up first in the morning or who would breathe first. And the other twin wasn't allowed to do so until the other one had. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But also, no.
No.
It's kind of weird.
No.
I mean, I get this kind of thing. I think we played little stupid games like this when we were young, but
Yeah,
they
we
took this
did.
very seriously. It was
Yeah.
like they were not allowed to
wait,
breathe.
I'm confused though. How did they do this if they were separated? Like, so the nurses are just saying that they were playing games, but they weren't together?
Yeah, this is all not stuff
could
that
have
they
been-
said.
Right.
So I don't
I'm
know.
thinking that so
when you work in a mental hospital, you take notes on your patients and you document everything you can. I mean, obviously they're busy, but yeah, you document as much as you can document. So,
there's lots of documentation.
yes. So when I'm assuming at nighttime they were always apart because they're in different rooms, but maybe there's like, I'm sure they're together during the day because it actually says that they don't talk to anybody. They will only talk to each other. Like they're
Okay.
A common.
they're together at times.
I thought
So there's like a common area.
I was thinking you were saying that they were completely like
No,
they
they're
were
not
in the
separated
same
completely.
place, but they were like not able to see each other.
I mean, they
Oh
were
no,
in-
they saw each other
and they were
daily.
in separate wings, but when you have like a mental hospital type situation, there's only like generally speaking one big like common
It's like a day
yeah,
room.
like where they
Yeah.
still go and
Yeah.
get their food and they
Like
hang
on
out
You've
and
American
watch
seen One
TV.
Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest. Like
And
that's what it's
you've
kind of
seen
like.
American Horror Story,
Yeah.
Asylum.
Girl
It's not really
Interrupted.
far off from
It's
that.
really
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So they even took turns doing things like with eating. One twin would eat one day and the other one went hungry. And then the next day they would switch and the other twin would eat and the other would go hungry.
Seems weird.
It was all very bizarre, but they would like one would shower and then the other one would shower next time, but they would never shower at the same time.
It's like survival
Seems
mode
weird.
all the time.
It's very strange. So the twins remained silent their entire stay at the hospital. Remember, they were there for 11 years.
11.
They were put on heavy doses of antipsychotics, making it difficult for them to concentrate. And the girls eventually lost interest in writing, which I think is really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Jennifer developed, Trass might know what this is, tardive dyskinesia.
Oh, it's tardive dyskinesia. Tardive dyskinesia. It's called TDS for short.
Okay, it's a neurological disorder resulting in involuntary repetitive movements.
Yes. We have medication for that now. We probably didn't have it back then.
Right.
No.
And then Jennifer got this as a result of being over-medicated.
That's awful.
It is. You're constant.
Oh my God.
And especially if you didn't have that to begin with and it's because
It can be arms, legs, tongue.
it's like
anything.
stimming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
exactly.
uncontrolled.
medically induced.
They can't control it.
So their medication was eventually adjusted, though, and they resumed journaling, and they even joined the hospital choir. And Jennifer,
Oh, good.
that went away. I don't know if
Yeah,
probably-
because if it's
Because it was medication induced.
yeah,
So
if
once they fix that,
then it'll go away.
then it goes away. Then in 1993, which I can remember,
Yeah.
a journalist by the name of Marjorie Wallace began attempting to interview the twins. It was slow going process at first, as the girls were not very trusting of people, understandably,
Obviously.
but they were excited about the interest in their story.
Yeah.
One day, Marjorie placed a tape recorder in a room and recorded the girls while they were alone to try to catch their conversation, since no one had heard them speak in forever,
Oh my god.
which is kind of betrayal of trust.
That's
Yeah.
really. Isn't that illegal?
It's 1993.
It's not.
So I don't know.
There
Plus,
wasn't any laws yet, but
No.
there are laws, but not.
there's
I don't
laws
know.
now for
No,
that. I
the
think.
laws for this kind of folk didn't really come into play until the 2000s.
Yeah.
So when she played back the tape recorder, the language was unlike anything she had heard before, except she could make out what she thought were a couple words. And everyone had already been telling her they have their own language. You can't understand them, right?
Mhm.
And she thought she understood a couple things. Marjorie slowed down the tape.
That's what. Yeah.
And that's when she discovered that June and Jennifer hadn't been speaking in some secret language all along. They're speaking fucking English.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
It's just extremely
Fast.
sped up at an
Yeah.
incredible speed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That
Could be just the pace that their brain was working.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how mine goes. That paired with their speech impediments made it hard for people to understand, but not completely impossible when slowed down. Marjorie told the girls that she had heard them speak and she knew they could speak all along. The girls seemed to feel justified that someone finally understood them.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, this is some fucking.
Isn't this sad?
No, this is some fucking.
Duh.
Yes.
Then in March of 1993, arrangements were made for June and Jennifer to be transferred to a low security clinic in Wales. But upon arrival at the facility, Jennifer became unresponsive. She had seemingly drifted off while laying in June's lap on the ride and would not wake up. After being taken to the hospital, Jennifer Gibbons was pronounced dead due to sudden inflammation of the heart. She was only 29 years old.
Medication.
Almost as if a light switch had turned on, June began talking and communicating with people as though she'd been doing it for her entire fucking life.
Because
She knew.
June was released from the hospital shortly after that and has been living a normal life ever since. She still lives today in Wales. Marjorie Wallace would later disclose some of the work that she did with the twins. She was given access to the twins' journals and writings, and while reading through June's diaries, June is the one that survived, she began to discover a certain darkness about her. June felt possessed by her sister and even called her a dark shadow. Jennifer's diaries, Jennifer's the one that passed away, said that she thought of June as her mortal enemy and described her face as a face of misery, deception, and murder.
Oh my god.
Wallace's research seemed
Janet, your face. I'm
Your
sorry.
face reminds me of murder.
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 Oh my god. Wallace's research seemed to conclude that the girls had grown increasingly afraid of one another over their final 10 years together. And that was basically almost their entire stay at Broadmoor.
No shit.
Which would have been a good reason to
And a
separate
hospital
them.
will do that
Yeah.
to you. I don't see a lot of positivity with shit like that. She noted June seemed to be more fearful of Jennifer, and Jennifer seemed to be the more dominant force. Early on in her interactions with the twins, Marjorie made notes that June seemed to want to speak to her, but subtle body language from Jennifer seemed to stop her. After Jennifer Gibbons' death in 1993, Marjorie Wallace offered some shocking revelations. She confessed that in the days prior to their release at Broadmoor, June and Jennifer confided in Marjorie that one of them wouldn't make it out of the hospital alive. Jennifer looked at Marjorie and said, "I'm going to die. We decided."
Oh my god. What a psychopath.
So,
Bro. Okay,
Obviously,
listen.
Marjorie was scared by that. She was like, okay.
I mean, yeah. And having a lot of experience with people in hospitals, I will tell you that, yeah, I mean, no, they would definitely be separated.
Yeah.
That would be the best thing for them. And it just couldn't go any other way. There's no way.
Right. And if somebody said, "I'm going to die, we decided," I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, you are going to be separated
Time
right
to get
now.
out the the drugs.
The good ones.
I mean,
So, yeah. Wallace realized that day that the girls had been preparing for one of them to die for quite some time. It seemed that the silent twins had come to the conclusion that one had to die so the other could truly live. Of course, following her strange visit with the girls, Wallace alerted the doctors to the conversation that they had shared. The doctors told her not to worry and said that June and Jennifer Gibbons were under supervision.
Well, it should have been enough to make you feel at ease.
they don't send people to a mental hospital like they did back then. And, like, that makes sense. But, like,
No, like nowadays,
still have those... nowadays, they still have the people who are still sitting in those places.
but she didn't have that luxury, right? So she, at the end of the day, she still had to see her sister at some point. And if she's like domineering and, you know, what have you,
Right.
she really didn't have a choice but to just be whatever she was expected to be by
Yeah.
her sister until her sister was gone. And then she could be her true self, which is sad. It's really fucking sad.
Yeah. The morning that the girls left Broadmoor, Jennifer reported not feeling well. As they watched the gates of Broadmoor close from within their transport car, Jennifer rested her head on June's lap and said, "At long last, we're out." She then slipped into some sort of coma, and less than 12 hours later, she would be dead. It wasn't until they reached Wales that any doctor would intervene. So
That's,
she
like,
was dead,
insane, dude.
and I believe her sister probably knew that.
She knew, but...
Yeah, and this was pretty on point with the time too, though. Like, they're not going to check them. They're just going to continue on with their transport.
Get where
and
they're going.
Yeah.
At 6:15 that evening, Jennifer Gibbons was pronounced dead. While the official cause of death was believed to be major swelling around her heart, Jennifer Gibbons' death still largely remains a mystery. There was no evidence of poison in her system or anything else unusual. The doctors at Caswell Clinic deduced that the medications given to June and Jennifer Gibbons at Broadmoor must have provoked Jennifer's immune system somehow, though they also noted that June was given the exact same medication and was in perfect health upon arriving because they did examine her as well. No official consensus was ever made on Jennifer's actual cause of death. After her sister's death, June wrote in her diary, "Today, my beloved twin sister Jennifer died. She is dead. Her heart stopped beating. She will never recognize me. Mom and Dad came to see her body, and I kissed her stone-colored face. I went hysterical with grief." But Wallace recalled visiting June several days after Jennifer's death and finding her in really good spirits and willing to talk.
Yeah.
Really sit and talk for the very first time. June Gibbons told Marjorie how Jennifer's death had opened her up and allowed her to be free for the very first time in her life. She told her how Jennifer had to die and how they had decided that once she did, it would be June's responsibility to live for the other. And June Gibbons did just that. She's rejoined society and speaks to anyone who will listen, a stark contrast from the girl who spent the beginning of her life talking to no one but her sister. And when asked why she and her sister had committed themselves to being silent for nearly 30 years, 30 years of their lives,
A long time.
June simply replied, "We made a pact. We said we weren't going to speak to anybody, so we stopped talking altogether. Only us two in our bedrooms upstairs." That's it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the silent twins? Kind of creepy
So,
I mean, it's creepy, but
and sad.
I mean,
the silent twins is like...
it's right on point with what I do for a living.
Right.
So it tracks. It's legit.
I just think
No.
it's so fucking sad.
But it's sad that
They're
she...
sort of like imprisoned by each other.
Well, I feel like June, she was trapped in some shit because her sister was a bitch, basically.
So hear me out. How does the death come about? Because in my eyes, the overbearing sister, why did she be like, yeah, I'm going to be the one to die? We decided.
They were on separate units. Maybe they didn't get the same medication. There was no way to really know if no toxicology was just because they were scheduled to have the same medication doesn't
Well, they
mean...
were both examined. So I don't know what that
Yeah,
means as
but-
far as blood work or
Right.
whatever.
Well,
but
we've seen examinations.
Unless their family, and this is early on, like I had said, real rights for these kind of folk didn't come around until the 2000s. So,
Right.
you know, it's human error most of
And
the time.
if this wasn't the result of some kind of medication,
Right.
how did they know that Jennifer was going to die?
Well, she should have died Because obviously she was a fucking cunt.
Well, there's that. But, like, how did they know that? Is this some kind of, like, supernatural connection that twins have?
I feel like, I don't know, here, this is, okay. The Silent Twins is, like, this was, like, a huge breakthrough case for psychology.
Yeah, as it should have been.
Every psychology class I ever took, high school, college, we always talked about the Silent Twins. Mm-hmm. That was always a huge thing because there's no right or wrong answer.
No,
right.
There's not.
This is
purely
a case,
speculation.
Yeah.
Like, there could be so many different reasons.
This case was so just like, what the fuck, you know? But, like, my view on this case is that I feel like we're starting at the beginning here. These were two little girls who were very, very bonded, very close, best friends, twins. And what we know from twins, kids who are born as twins, from just even what you've previously have stated in this episode, is that they are naturally close.
Mm-hmm.
So these girls are growing up naturally close. They're slowly secluding themselves a little bit, and they're only
which
paying
is
attention.
pretty normal though for
yeah.
even like a quote unquote regular, because I don't want to like hurt anybody's feel bads, but like a quote unquote like regular sibling. Yeah.
They were normal girls who were super close to each other and closer than what other people thought was normal.
I don't think they deserve to be in a mental
and you know
hospital
what?
asylum.
That's what I thought at first.
The ending of their lives really is what it was.
Yeah.
Is depressing because I feel like they turned on each other because of other people.
Yeah.
But I don't see it that way. I see Jennifer sacrificed herself for her sister.
That's kind of
that's
what I
a
see
love
too.
beyond love.
I see that too
because they were both imprisoned by each other,
and she knew that as long as she was alive, that her sister could not live her life fully.
that they would always be silent.
Yeah.
And I think that Jennifer was fine with the life. I think that Jennifer was fulfilled with her sister.
A beautifully tragic situation.
It's just so sad.
But for me, I feel like this situation literally shows that I genuinely think that they were scared of each other in the sense that they didn't understand. It was almost like, now if you're close with your sister, you're going to go to the mental ward.
Yeah.
For 11 years.
That's insane.
How confusing is that for a child?
But that's not what happened here, though. They were acting out. They were even they were hurting each other. They fucking committed arson and petty theft, and they were going down.
They were doing drugs.
Me and my sister have definitely done some things. We've committed a few things.
Done arson.
We've never done arson
or petty theft.
Never. At the end of the day, if my sister was on the struggle bus and and we were locked in this fucking place and whatever, would I die for her? Abso-fucking-lutely. Would she die for me?
Yep.
Abso-fucking-lutely. It's just it's hard because this is a case where I cannot articulate how I feel about it because I feel
deep.
I feel very strongly
about
it.
I want to know, going back, which one wrote the essay about the Coca-Cola?
That was June, wasn't it?
June did that.
And she's the one that lived.
So I find that to be particularly, I don't know what the right word is, but it's kind of in a sense that Jennifer knew her sister could make it without her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe. And you know what? This is the thing. Is they'll say, 9 times out of 10, the person that projects as the strongest is the weakest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how that goes. And that's why when I read this story, and I picked up on that too, and I thought June was the strong one.
June was carrying.
And Jennifer sort of sacrificed herself for her.
I know in our situation anyways, that's because Janet is the protector. So that's why she's so loud.
And that's Jennifer.
That's why she's so
and that was Jennifer. And then that came across as she's a bitch. She's overbearing. Yeah. Which June happens a lot. That's how I'm viewed.
June stops talking when Jennifer says things.
Yeah. Which Tracy does.
I do.
Trass does that when I start getting loud.
As far as Jennifer dying, I feel that she probably was mouthing her pills maybe and took a bunch at once, because
Well, they had it planned. Either way,
Yeah.
no matter how you looked at it,
knew-
they had it planned.
They knew what to do. They had
so
an
they
idea.
knew what to do or where to get something or
Yes.
something
Or
like
they
that.
knew that the person that was passing medications that day didn't know what the
Wasn't
fuck they were
checking
doing.
under their
or
tongue,
the
or-
little like lore lover inside of me, the little mystery lover inside me wants to believe that it's like a supernatural connection and they just knew. That's kind of awesome to think about. But that's
Yes.
probably not what happened. Thanks, Kaylee, for ruining my dreams with your mean look at me.
Sorry.
So that's it for us tonight. I want to wish my sissy and my
Yes.
daughter a very happy birthday one more time. Happy birthday, you ladies.
Happy birthday to us.
I hope you guys had a fun pod birthday.
I did.
If you want to hear more, check out our past episodes of the Poison Tea Party podcast.
Yes.
We are actually up to episode 25 now.
Oh my fucking
Wow.
Can you
God.
believe it? We're like a quarter century old in
Jesus
pod years.
Christ, that doesn't even seem real.
That's so nuts. We can drink now, guys.
Oh, I've been able to drink this whole time.
Anyway.
About that.
Cut that out.
There are 24 more episodes for you to listen to and re-listen to now on your favorite podcast apps, and you can
And
hit
you
us.
should.
Yeah, you should. You
We
can
should.
listen to us on Podbean and like us over there. Check us out and give us a like on Facebook. And don't forget, there is a way for you to become more official member of the Poison Tea Party Society by becoming a member of our Patreon page. Just head on over to patreon.com/the Poison Tea Party. Choose one of the 3 tiers. Whatever fits your budget. We aren't picky.
We're not.
And that's the way that you gain access to our bonus show, Extra Poison. Remember, you can get that on any tier you choose.
And bro, it's popping over there. You have no fucking idea.
It is. And we do have some fun things in the works for this summer that you're going to want to be a part of.
Oh
And
my
you're
God.
only going to be able to have access to that if you are a Patreon member.
And I can think of one in particular. You're gonna want to be.
You're
going to
want to be a part of it. So get on over there. We'll be recording new episodes of Extra Poison actually right after this in a couple minutes. So go on, become a member. It'll be fun. Okay, until next time, my loves, you keep it classy and you keep those fucking pinkies up.
Yes, bitch.
You've been poisoned.
Oh fuck!
Again.
Again.
Always. Why do we always? Why the fuck is this always happening?